Hello Stamper, welcome to Frenchie's video. I'm Frances Martin, independent administrator with Stampin' Up at frenchiestamps.com in the US. Today it's all about the new die, Give It A Whirl, and this is 21 dies. So this video, it's really the basic of how this works. You can see it right here on page 57 of the annual catalog. I'm not using this stamp set, so I'm going to share with different stamp set and so on. So I started one here, did not finish, but you can see, well, it would have to be mounted there, and it's swirled around. So now you see why. See, now you get the little snowman, no snow, and then it's say let it snow, and then boom. So I'm going to share different way, because we get this opening, we got a heart, we got a circle, and so on. And here it's one that we will assemble together, but that with the stamp set, the whale stamp set, and voila. And then when I turn, I got big deal, the little fish, and then the jellyfish. So let's get started from the beginning. First thing we want to do is decide what's going to be the card front. So for today, I prep over here. I prep the hand pen designer series paper, and I glue it already on a piece of, I started with 5.5 by 4 1/4. Save on the designer series paper, you could cut at 4 inch, so you would have more strip. So I went at 2 1/4 and 3 1/4. Now we're gonna cut this long piece here, so that's where you need that opening for the spinner. So let's bring the die cut machine here. And the reason why I glued that in advance, because I wanted the glue to dry. I'm using the liquid glue for that. So I got my platform number 1, 2, and 1, 3. And then I'm going to put that at the top here. So I think I want more of the pink there. Here we go. Now we're going to cut this out. So let's roll this through. And voila. Now, the next step that we need to decide, it's what's going to be the opening. Like I said, we get different choice. I get the circle over here. Here I get what I call the pie shape. Now, in this, in your dies, you're going to see you get the one with the little circle at the bottom. That's what you can do the opening. So you get the hearts, you get the circle, you get the pie shape, and then we get the rectangle. And today we will use the rectangle. So we're going to put that right here. And you're going to, before you start, you're going to decide, do you want it do you want it sideways? Where you want your rectangle? In this case, I want it below. But you see, when you cut your top layer, I'm going to call, you get that little hole there. So when you cut that, that brings that little hole. You have to match this part with this. It doesn't matter. You can tilt it and so on. But that's what you have to match, so then your spinner gonna work with this. So I want that right at the bottom there. I'm gonna try to put that straight. When it's rectangle or any shape like this on the long way, I like to tilt it a little bit and then have tilt your paper. You see, let me bring that a little bit more here. You see, I tilt the paper, not really the die, because the die is going to follow the paper, so that way it will engage better in your machine. Now let's, do I have both? Here we go. The other plate here. You have to make sure the hole is on top of the hole. That's really the main thing that you have to do. Now we're going to roll this. And now we're going to have our opening. Voila. Okay, we're going to put this aside, and I pre-cut one in Blackberry Bliss, just show that you can do different color. But I got one in the circle, one in the rectangle. Now we're going to do one with the hearts. And again, it don't matter where you want. This one, we're going to do it sideways. Just show you that we can have a different way. You can decide, it would be very tight, but it would fit on the side. You can put it upside down if it's a circle and so on. So we're going to match the old with the old that it's already there, because I had already pre-cut this. And you know what? Now I cannot see. I need to make sure. Want that a little bit just on the side there. Because I want to put another heart beside it there. So now I'm going to take this, put it at the top. Oh, make sure. Here we go. And let's roll on. So now you see how simple it is to do your top layers. Remove this. Then I can use this and put that there. That's what I want to do. But I'm going to do maybe this in a different color. So now you get the jig of it. And I got the circle in a pool party there. So I'm going to finish this card down the road. Okay. Now for the spinner around, this is the wheel, just like a car wheel, right? Going to put that, this piece here, I grab a quarter sheet. It is 4 by 5 1/4. But really, the size that you would need, 4 by 4 would be perfect. So then you don't have to, you know, have it so tight. I would say a piece of cardstock 4 by 4 would be perfect for that. Now we're going to put that here and roll on. So now you get the basic step of this here. In the die set, like I said, it is 21 dies. Whoops. So we're going to use this. In the 21 dies, you got like the scallop you could put around the circle. You got the little arrow. You got clouds. You got stars. So you got plenty. Oh, one thing I didn't do that we should always do. When you get a piece like this, you want to remove it. So the next one you cut is going to be good. Because sometimes if it's too much paper stuck in the hole, it won't cut properly. So you see you get the star, clouds, little dots, and so on. Now, talking about the little dots here, the little arrow with the dots, that don't cut, well, it make the imprint. And I got one here done. Well, I did, yeah. And the thing about it, it leaves the imprint too of the die. So I'm not sure how I like that. See, and it's no choice because you get a die, you get metal there. But you could always do that on the side of your thing to show which way to go. If you go down or if this way, you can have 2 or 1, so on. So we're going to do one, just show you how that works. And then you decide what you like. So what you're going to do is just take this, go right at the edge, and right here. And then just like you would cut, but it leaves the imprint. And then we're going to roll this through. So now you're going to see how this works. Et voila. You get, oh, I should add the other way. See, silly me, I should add the other way. So now you see how that works. We won't use this one. Now we got the tiny, tiny little arrow that you can cut, that I got a bunch cut out here that I did before. And what I did, I put that on an adhesive sheet to make it easier to cut. So you can do that in any color. So that's another choice, to have the little arrow. But I think when people are going to get a card and see that right away, I think their finger going to go there. Now, I wanted for our rectangle, I wanted a frame around it. So here how I did my frame. I'm using this again. I'm using a piece of cardstock that measured 2 1/4 by 1 1/8. I tried many size and this was the best size I can say. So again, it's 2 1/4 by 1 1/8. Now you're going to place that right at the top. Going to put that diagonal a little bit. And we're going to roll on. That look about right. And again, you see I put that tilted a little bit so it engaged better in your machine. So now we get our basic thing done. Let's put a card together so you can see how this works. Let me remove this. And now you see I got my frame. One thing you're going to say, well, why not maybe using the stitch rectangle? Well, I tried that with this one. You see, it's not quite the same, so it doesn't matter how I go up or down, it's not the same width. So that's the reason why I'm not using this. I tried many things and this was the easiest way. Now let's put our card together. And the easy thing to know where to stamp on that one, it's good. See where you're going to stamp. If you look at it, you got the pie shape around there. If you have a circle like I did in this one here, oh, not this one, in this one, what I done, I put my circle at the top and I sponge, and then I roll till I didn't see that and sponge again. So then I know exactly how to do this. But let me show you one from the back of this. I got another tip for this one. So we're going to put that right here. And we're going to see the circle was right there. So let me sponge just around that. It doesn't matter which color here. I'm just going to put a little bit so we can see. Oops. Make sure you hold it tight. That was not right. Hold this tight and just sponge a little bit. So now you get where the circle is. Or you can cut a mask with copy paper too. But because my stamp was bigger than my thing, I knew that I didn't want to pass each of the pie. So what I done, I followed the pie. So you could do that with the pie also, just follow the pie. But I wanted to make sure I knew the circle. And then I stamp. Let's do a stamp here just. I don't want to stamp anything dark because it's going to show and I want to use that card. But then you would note stamp right here. My thing was the stamp set was longer. So that was the jellyfish here. See, I couldn't stamp my jellyfish and it would have went at the bottom. We would have seen it there. So that is why you want to mask that pie shape if part of the stamp won't show or you don't want it to be in the next section. So that's how I met that part, because you can see my jellyfish sheet, it stopped, it didn't cover this. I didn't want it on top of that. That's how this was done. Now for the rectangle, that's going to be another little tricky part. So what we're going to do, I like to put, attach this just temporary to see where we're going to stamp, okay? So if your stamp fit perfectly, it's not bigger than the thing, then it's going to be easy. So I'm going to put it a little bit tighter here. Here we go. So we're going to start right here. Now I got the stamp set that say friends, And I mix a bunch of stamp set here. I'm using Blossom in Bloom for Thinking of You, Sure Do Miss You, and Hello. And then for Friend, that's from Biggest Wish. Now I'm going to use Misty Moonlight. I'm going to stamp my friend first. And I'm going to put my friend right here, because I got a flower I want to add. I got my friend there. Oh, one thing that I wanted to do, and I'm going to do it now. It's not too late. I wanted to have this at the top. So let's worry about that in a minute. Okay, so now we're going to stamp our greeting here. Make sure it's tight enough. Now we're going to go ahead and I'm going to put hello first. So that's all going to be stamped with Misty Moonlight. And I'm going to put my friend right here. And I got little flowers in this one here. Got a little flowers that it's going to be perfect. We're going to add that in yellow. Why yellow? I'm going to show you in a minute. We're going to use So Saffron. That I had it. Here we go. So now I got my little flowers here. And the reason why I go with yellow, because I got some yellow in here. I'm trying to get that. So I'm going to put one there, and one there. So now we got little flowers there. Now we're going to spin that. And we're going to do the next one. So I like to spin down. So we're going to, and you can see the line of your pie there. So now we stop at the next one. Just a little bit more. Here we go. Now the next one, going to be Thinking of You. And these fit perfect in here, so I don't have to worry about, you know, stamping on the side. If so, that's when you want to maybe sponge a little bit to guide you, and then you got it. you remove the top stamp just like I show you the circle. Now I'm going to use another little flower there, here, and right at the corner there. Voila. Now we're going to spin again. And you can see those lines there of the F pie. So that guide you. And voila, we don't see any of the other one. Now we're going to put Sure Do Miss You. And again, it's in Misty Moonlight. And we're going to see maybe my hair. That's okay. Et voila. And now I'm going to add just one little flower on this one because it's a lot more greeting. Oh, going to put that right there. So now we get this. Okay, we're going to finish the card, and it's all, everyone's going to be assembled the same. This one, I crank it up a notch. Like I said, I paste the designer series paper. This is just from the cutting there. And then I wanted to cover this, so I want this over here. So I needed to have that cut, and I didn't. So we're going to cut it after. I would have glued that first, okay? So, well, I want to glue it after because I want to cover my brad there. So first thing we're going to glue is going to be the frame or window here. So let's, and like I said, this one, it's what I call crank it up a notch, but while you see the more advanced, you know the basic, right? So this is additional and so on. So we're going to put that right at the top. It fit perfect in here. I thought it's going to look good to frame the inside there. Now, any one of them, I strongly recommend to use a circle. This is 1.5, I think. 1.5, 1.25, just do a hole in the center. Or you can use, the inside of the circle of this also. You don't need another one. You can just cut one of them. That's about that size, yeah. So cut one of the circle there. Now, I'm going to bring some dimensional, and then we're going to assemble this. So I got my bread. We're going to put the bread in the middle here. And then we're going to put this over here. And then we're going to put this one. And the reason why I'm doing this here, the second one, it's going to roll better with one extra one there. And then go in the back, and those legs are very long, so take anything flat surface and flat this, but you want it tight but not super tight that it won't move. And now see, it's rolling very lovely. See, boom. Okay, now let's take let's mount that, and we're going to mount that on Misty Moonlight, and I'm going to share how I done mine, okay? I switch the size. It's a little bit different than what I would do, because usually I would do 5 1/4 by 4, or 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. But you're gonna see I'm gonna go at 5 3/8 and then 4 1/8. That would be the right proportion. But see, when I put this on it, the length is right, but it's not equally on each side. So we're gonna go at 4 inch. So the layer, it is 4 inch by 5 3/8. See? 4 by 5 3/8. So now for your card base, we cut this at 5 1/2 normally, right? And now we have to remove a 1/4 inch. So remove a 1/4 inch and score that at 4 inch instead of 4 1/4. So I just decrease, oops. No, I did that wrong. 1 second. One second. Okay, we need 5 1/2. And then we need to remove a 1/4 inch, because we remove 1/8 of an inch there. And then instead of folding at 4 you could score it at 4 1/8, or you can just take this. So if you want to score, it's 4 1/8. And just show you 4 1/8. See, 4 1/8. I know a lot of you get difficulty with the 1/8, 5/8, so this is going to help. Now we can take this, mount it there, and you know what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this here, and I'm going to glue that, I'm going to cut that right there, because I didn't cut it. So let me roll that in. Okay, I just put that and roll it. See, I got my circle. That's what I didn't want though. So I think I don't like that. So you know what? I'm not putting that there. Let's, we're going to mount that here. I got a flower here. And we're going to put the flower there. I thought to put the flower there, but now the flower is going to get put over there. So I'm going to cover that piece. Okay. And I got a little bit of blue here. Let's see. Well, you could always add this way though. I really like this part. That's too big. Okay, so just to cover this, I'm going to add that little piece there. So let's use liquid glue. Never mind, don't cut it with the thing, because then you're going to have the hole, and that's what we don't want, right? So I'm just adding liquid glue here, and we're going to put that right at the edge, right there. It's just to cover that where the paper split there. I don't like to see this paper split like that. Now we're going to flip this around and always cut from the back, so then it's equally. Now this piece, very important. Use dimensional. We're going to do here. I'm going to be very generous on my dimensional. You don't want it too close to the spinner, okay? But you want it that it gives some depth so you can spin it easy. And the edge here of your, that's going to be perfect right here, so it don't bow down. Here we go. That should be good. Now let's remove this, and we're going to attach that to our Misty Moonlight layers, and then it's going to be done. And it's the same thing for the other one to attach them. It's all, I like to have that extra piece of the circle in the back, because it twists better. It don't hit the wheel per se. And the dimensional give you that extra layer there. Now we're going to put that right here. Make sure it's kind of equally there. Now we're going to attach that to our Whisper White that measure 5.5 by 4 1/4. I mean 8 1/4. And I will have all measurement on my block, so you don't have to worry. Try to catch my measurement. Just go below. I get the direct link. Okay, and this flower is the flower and leaf punch in the So Saffron and Misty Moonlight Ice Punch, and I crunch this here. Just crunch it, because I wanted kind of different texture. And again, I went with the yellow to get some of the yellow in this. Now, I'm not using a dimensional for that, because we already get dimensional. I don't want it more thick. So I'm just using glue dots, and then that's cover my thing, so I don't have to put it there. I can put it exactly where I want it here, because that little strip that I did cover my my brads, because that's what I wanted to cover. I didn't want to, that's where I wanted that. So now you see it turn. You just put your finger and turn it. So the little tiny little thing that I told you that I used the whatever it's called, the adhesive sheet. Okay, let's peel that adhesive sheet in the back of this. Et voila. So now I can put that right here Let's move that a bit and curve that a bit there. So now that's going to give them the clue, right? To roll on. See? Another thing that I want to show you, oops, here it didn't glue good there. 1 second. Another thing that, I'm sorry, the battery went dead. And I was keep on talking and going on. So here is my little arrow, and now you got, you know, it turned very lovely. Another thing that I was saying is that this here you have to put your finger and turn. This I have to secure that better here. There we go. So let me share another thing that you can do if you want it to turn even, if you don't, somebody get maybe no nails and so on, it's a little bit tricky to turn. What I done, okay, it's already glue. I put my 2 layers together. I use the 1 1/4 punch. If you don't have a punch, you can do that with a die, and the reason, a circle die, the reason why I didn't do this circle die here, I wanted a little bit more, so you can put it right on top here, and then do that before you put your thing. So you just layer it together and put this, and then you're going to do the same thing with your card layer. Okay, you're just going to roll that through the machine. Now after you've done the 2, you know this where it goes. You're going to go a little bit deeper for this one. So if you get a punch, I like a punch. You're going, I think I already done it before the battery went dead there. Yes. So because I had punched all those 2 layers, because you don't go over the top layer, that's just your guide. So I came and punched that before we put this. Now I removed that because it's not glue yet, and I went a little bit deeper. And how deep I went, here we go, extra deep. Like I said, the battery went out. That was, I mean, not even a 1/4 inch. Now, what you're going to do is we're going to glue this. So let's add the glue in the back of this here. If you say, why not dimensional? Remember, the dimensional go between the top layer and this layer. Now, we're going to add this to this card here. Let me move that right here. Et voila. Turn it at the back here. It's always better to turn it in the back when you get layers like that. You don't want it to move, because if you go in the front, it's a good chance with liquid glue you're going to press and it's going to move. Now, see, now you get that little opening, and see how much friendlier it is. So that is my thing that I like best about what I discovered with this. It's to do a next in your card, do that lip there. So you could always, if you don't want an extra layers, if you use this, you have to have a layer to put that on, because you cannot just use your where's the square dot. You cannot use this except if you put it right at the edge, and you would just cut at the edge there. So it's a lot easier. I won't get you confused with that. It's a lot easier to take the circle die or a punch and then do the 2 layers together like this. So that's about it, my friend, for today. So see how easy it is now to turn. It's just very lovely. And then this one, my whale, gonna go on the top here, so when you scroll, it's say you're kind of a big deal. So you get this one, and then you get this. See, this one you have to put your finger. So I really like with the extra circle in. That is it, my friend. Thank you so much. All the supplies will be listed on my blog for this card. This one gonna come down the road, and also the snowman one. I got this one going to be right with this post. and all the supplies that I use for that, and the measurement also. So just go right below, you get the direct link. Thank you so much, and have a great day, my friend. Bye-bye for now.